so let's call the meeting to order. Val will take a visual roll call. Apparently there's no public comments and no amendments to the agenda. Okay, move to the consent agenda, A and B. I'll entertain a motion.
I make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
And I'll second that. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion is carried. Okay, our fire department is not here today because two of them are at some sort of training. The other one is out of town, so. And you have a message from the fire department.
Yes, a quick update regarding the applications. So currently, as of February 20th, we have 36 candidates who submitted applications and tested for the position of firefighter or paramedic. Breakdown is as follows. 7 candidates have all the required testing completed and required documentation uploaded. 2 candidates are in the paramedic program and will be reevaluated closer to the time of hire. 1 will not be a paramedic until mid-2026. 1 candidate has removed themselves from the testing process, and the remaining 26 do not have the required documentation or are not qualified to continue the testing process. It will conclude on the 28th, with oral interviews being conducted on the March 17th and 18th.
Okay.
And if there's any questions, reach out to DC Mitsuka.
So we have the 17th and 18th on our calendars.
Yeah.
For possibilities. Okay.
So they have 36 candidates and 27 of them are out already?
26. I'll have to follow up with DC Mitsuka.
Oh,
Hello.
Oh, my apologies.
Probably couldn't get in, huh?
Yeah, that's okay. I had a lucky timing. Somebody was just coming out,
Oh.
so.
Oh, well.
Okay. Well,
We're almost ready.
it's going to be a short meeting.
Perfect. Yeah, you're almost ready to adjourn.
Unless the chief here, gets very verbal.
Waxing eloquent about something, no.
Yeah.
No.
I'm sure you have many
Okay.
things to wax eloquent over, right?
Not really, not
For
today.
another day.
Not today.
Good try last night's board meeting. Okay, let's go to the police department, chief.
Anything from your
Dan?
perspective?
For executive session, or
Well, we
should we do
can,
that first, or?
we can give you an update on the sergeant's exam. We've been talking to the vendor.
Okay, you want to do it first?
Yeah, cops and fire. And we're trying to schedule a test, a written exam for May. So we've given the materials that the vendor has suggested, as well as any updates on materials to all the candidates who've had to kind of RSVP to say their intention to take the test. And I believe we have 8 candidates taking the test?
I think there's 11.
I hear there's 11.
I thought there was 11.
Yes, yes, that we have but we have a great pool of candidates taking the sergeant's exam. And then after they take the written exam, then there'll be a couple other processes. There'll be a panel, there'll be, people call it cheese points, but I leave it up to staff to kind of score the group. So that comes from the percentage that I give to the process. I don't just pick, I have all the staff comment, and that's part of it. So, when we have a date certain, we'll come back to the commission to let everybody know. But sometime in May, because they have to have an ample amount of time to prepare. So per the rules of the commission, they've been given that time slot, so.
Okay.
I'll bring up the one thing about, one thing we talked about when they do the interview. Usually, this service provides all the interviewers, which is usually four people. What we had requested is to have 2 of their people, and then we wanted to pick out 2 deputy chiefs from the local area to kind of have it half and half, but we'd have to pay them individually. So how some departments have done it, it's kind of common, right? I think the common, what they usually pay is $500. So if we went that route, just throwing it by you guys, it'd be okay to extend the payment to 2 people.
And it's usually on a Saturday, so there's no double dipping during the week, where they're working on, in their normal hours, so it'll be on a Saturday. And that's what the compensation is for their time, obviously, and their expertise. And we have told the vendor that we're going to be picking a deputy chief, not from our neighboring towns, but we'll go at least one town out. You know, to figure out who those people are yet, to be determined, who those deputy chiefs are gonna be.
And this is for the sergeant's exam. You're
Yes, it
talking
is.
about doing that.
For the sergeant's promotional exam as part of the panel process. The written process, we're not gonna need any deputy chiefs, but after that, they'll be scored accordingly, and then we'll have a panel process.
Have we done that before?
Yes.
I can't remember when we did that.
We've done it for deputy chief testing
Deputy
in the
chief,
past.
yeah.
We did it this last time around, and it was, we were sweating our officers, but it was good to see them out of their element and how they reacted to some of the questions and the scenarios, and it's good to hear their thought process, actually.
It's nice to get two acting.
Well,
Deputy
the
chiefs
people they
involved.
use, nothing against them, but they're all retired. They've all been retired for quite a long time.
Yeah.
So we said, hey, we don't have a problem with that, but maybe bring in a couple people that are active, you know.
Good idea.
That way
That
you
are still
got
in the
a
game.
mixture. you know.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, because, you know, as good as they were, you know, being retired for a long time, you do tend to lose a little bit of
Yeah.
touch, so to speak, and, no, I like the idea of bringing somebody in that's, active right now and knows the lay of the land today, not 10 years ago.
And is that it all on that topic?
On that topic, yeah.
Do we have to okay bringing in the two and with the $500 fee, or,
We're not even there yet.
okay.
Yeah,
We have time, I promise you. We'll bring it back to the commission.
yeah,
Well, you guys approved hiring a testing service,
yeah,
and they'd be working through them. It's just that they would rather we just pay them directly because of, you know,
yeah, if we're spending money that we don't normally have in our budget, we would need to have a
Yeah.
motion, but it would be, like you say, a little bit later on, so, okay.
And on the second subject, update on entry-level backgrounds, well, we're going to ask, as an actionable item of the commission, to allow us to do backgrounds on the first 4 candidates. And we'll save the rationale and reasoning for executive session.
Okay,
Does that sound fair?
okay. Are you ready to go into exec session now, or do you have something else you wanna bring up?
no.
I second it, all in favor? We are. Okay. So, as I understand it, you would like permission from the commission to start background checks on 4 candidates.
That is correct. The first 4 candidates, 1 through 4, Michael Raymond, Lisa Williams, Cesar Pinto Jr., and John Doyle.
Okay,
I'll make that motion.
then I'll second it, moved in second that we grant permission to start the background checks. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Seems, okay. Anything else?
Any legal updates that we know of that?
No, not right now. Things are pretty stagnant as of right now, but we anticipate, you know, lots of action in the next couple legislative sessions, so.
Is that the social security issue and stuff like that?
Yeah, a lot of it probably will be pension focus is my guess.
Yeah.
With the tier 1 and tier 2, but that's also part of kind of recruiting too. So, you know, I know that there's a lot of push to, you know, chip away at tier 2, and
Yes.
so we'll see what happens with that, and that might be a recruiting tool depending on what they do, which I'm not sure how much it will be, but, you know, they're doing their dance downstate with, you know, who's pushing for what, and lobbying,
And the damage has been done when you raise the retirement age as well as put them in tier 2 in their contributions.
yeah.
It's created that vacuum, and the hiring pool is just not as
Yeah.
vast.
No, and we know that, well, they'll have to change the pay cap that applies to tier 2 just because of the Social Security safe harbor provisions. They have to do that. We're about 99% certain they will also change the funding date for pension funds. So that'll probably, it's just a matter of like what else comes with it. You know, what other changes to tier 2 come with it, and you know, whether those will be more beneficial, closer to tier 1, but of course that comes with a financial pressure as well and financial, that puts a lot of local pressure financially on those pension funds. So there's a lot of push on both sides to keep it the same.
Yeah. Did the governor address that all in his budget thing? I didn't
I don't know that
hear
he,
it all.
I don't know that he addressed it in his budget, but
Yeah.
he did have a statement that he was not interested in making the drastic changes to tier 2 that had been proposed. Because he feels like, this affects state pensions as well. So
Yeah.
he feels like he started to get some of the pensions more under control or in a better position. And so to make all those changes would really be a financial hit. So they don't really want to. But there's a legislature. They have a say in things too on how they do that. So we'll see. But he did not address it specifically in his budget.
He really addressed townships, so he's taking that, moving to townships to try and eliminate them.
In the
Or-
fact that, I'm sorry,
No, I was gonna say he moved, he's proposing instead of having 10%, for signatures, move it down to 5. And then the services would all go to the county or municipalities. We all know that would be a disaster.
mm-hmm.
And our local legislator is the one that's sponsoring that bill. Susie?
Outstanding.
Yeah.
Well, and as we know, officers don't qualify for Social Security.
Right.
So
Yeah.
one of the things that I would tell a young officer, get work experience elsewhere where you do collect Social Security so you can double up the benefit because it's taking more and more money to retire. So
Yes.
the pension in and of itself may not be enough.
Yeah.
And so that's what I would ask an officer. So, well, how can I prepare? I said, prepare for life. Go and get a job outside of police work that allows you. I qualify for Social Security because of all the other things I've done apart from policing.
Right. Yeah. And they raised that, or they did away with the the windfall provisions. They did away with those caps that they put on Social Security where they readjust somebody's pension benefit based on what you earn from Social Security. So that has been, some people are very happy about that because they had all that outside work and all their Social Security earnings were capped or limited, even though that they were due more. So it's a good plan for younger officers now because that will apply to them.
It will. And when they say, look, what's the best age to retire and then start collecting Social Security, and they always say 70, that's tough. I might need money up front before then. So I would say anywhere from 67 to 70 is probably a good idea to start collecting, even though it adjusts your tables and your schedules moving forward.
Yeah, no, that's interesting. It all affects everything else, right? Like even though that's pension, it all affects recruitment and being able to get people in. It affects.
That domino effect, that's really.
It does.
Well, apart from this, we also have our union, first union meeting for the patrol, for their pay. Because it's out there and it's open knowledge that we are the lowest paid police department, other than the Forest Preserve District. But they're not a 24/7 operation, they don't do traffic, they don't go on calls, other than just make sure that they preserve the properties of the Forest Preserve District of DuPage County. Managers assured us that we're going to get off the bottom floor, just I don't know how far. So I'm hoping for good things because I would like to retain all the great people we have.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that goes. That's at 1:30 today.
Money.
Good luck.
Yes, well, and we're going to need luck because it's a village that typically does not have a lot of money.
Yeah.
And as you've seen, Al, in your years up at the dais, it just, where do you allocate? You have infrastructures that are crumbling. And everybody else says, well, you've got the newest building. Come take a look at our building.
Yeah.
We've got a lot of stories about that building and how poorly it was erected. So it's crumbling. So something needs to be done, and it'd be great to have this be a campus and figure out, we're centrally located.
Would be nice.
It would be nice. So hopefully it's someone else's dream.
It's your dream, but somebody else's reality.
Hopefully.
Yeah, right.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
And it would take a long time, and it would take a lot of bonds.
Take
Yeah.
a lot of looking forward is
Yes.
what it would do, and not trying to destroy.
Well, and right now, we're destroying.
Yes, we are.
Every process, you saw that yesterday.
Yeah.
And, I don't care for the hijinks and the people when you start attacking people publicly. That all
Yeah.
could be said behind closed doors. You know,
Well,
that
there-
doesn't help anything.
It's election season, right?
Yes, it is.
Oh, yeah.
The silly seasons, as I've always called it, silly
Yeah.
season, yeah.
But the unfortunate part with this one is that their silly season is their normal season.
Yes. And when you make accusations, it would be nice if there's a hint of base to them. It would be
Yeah.
nice when you make a dangerous allegation. And one of the horrific allegations last night was that the manager's playing politics and picking with candidates. That was rough to hear.
I'd make a suggestion that we adjourn from this meeting.
I was just gonna say, are we still in
Yeah.
the meeting?
No? Oh, we are? Okay.
And then we can have those discussions.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, any other business?
No.
No other business or anything, then motion to adjourn.
I move, we adjourn.
I second. Time is 8:51.
All right.